All right, thank you.
Just hit it. We're good.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to, again, Stacy DeLong, the Human Resource Manager for Retrieve Technologies. Stacy, thank you for your sponsorship today, and we appreciate you your willingness to introduce our speakers. You're on mute.
Thank you for having us today. We're really excited to be able to sponsor. And Travis, just a quick clarification. Did you want me to introduce all of them, or did you just want me to go with the Strategic HR Inc. and then Rick?
Why don't we go ahead and introduce all of our speakers up front, and then we'll kind of call them up as it's their turn. Okay.
Did you want me to read their bio too, or let that when they get ready to speak?
Yeah, let's go ahead and read their bios and just go through the speakers, please.
Okay. Again, I'm Stacy DeLong. I'm the Human Resources Manager for Retrieve Technologies, and I also take care of the health and safety. We've been around for about 25 years. We like to pride ourselves as a global leader in battery recycling. We're pretty knowledgeable in all different types of different batteries, everything from your electrical vehicle batteries, NiCad batteries, nickel metal hydrides, lithium, alkaline. What we do is our customers send us our batteries to recycle, and then we have different processes depending on the types of batteries. Basically strip those batteries apart. All the products that we have get sold. Lead acid batteries go back into making lead acid batteries again for all of our cars. Other products like the plastics can be gone back into other batteries or other product. We really pride ourselves. Our lead acid line is about 99% recyclable. Again, like I said, we've been around for 25 years. We have a location in Lancaster and then one in our Baltimore facility. Today, I would really like to introduce Dr. Ned Hill. He's with the Ohio State University. Or no?
I'm sorry. The sheet I sent you had all of our speakers for the series. The next one down, the December 9th.
December 9th, I'm sorry. And I was looking everywhere today for my old lady glasses. I couldn't find them, and I found them at the last minute. All right, I'd like to introduce Melissa Dern and Samantha Osborne. Melissa is an HR Service Solutions Lead with Strategic HR Inc. She's overseeing the virtual HR solutions, interim solutions, and chamber relations. She loves the process of understanding people's drive and desire for bettering themselves. Melissa is passionate about helping others to find HR solutions, enabling them to build strong teams in their HR knowledge. Samantha serves as Strategic HR Inc.'s marketing strategist, managing the social media and online marketing, creative content generation, public relations, and more. She also contributes as a member of the talent acquisition team part-time. With a passion for storytelling, Samantha enjoys putting puzzle pieces together to create cohesive and engaging messages. She is dedicated to serving her team, clients, and candidates with the efficiency, excitement, and expediency. I can't even talk today. And then we will have, after that, we'll have Rick. And sounds like everybody knows him here. He's with Fairfield County and 33 Economic Development Alliance. He has been the Economic and Workforce Development Director for Fairfield County, Ohio since 2016. His role also serves as the Director for the 33 Development Alliance Fairfield County Port Authority and the Area 20 Workforce Development Board. Rick oversees the Fairfield County Schools Career Readiness Program, the Fairfield County Workforce Center. He previously worked for Gannett Newspapers, serving various sales and marketing leadership roles throughout the country. He holds an MBA from Northern Illinois University, a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from Miami University. That's a mouthful.
Thank you, Stacy. And once again, thank you for your presenting sponsorship today in Retrieve Technologies.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Awesome. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's kick it off with Melissa and Samantha.
Thank you so much. And thank you for the intro, Stacy. We appreciate it. Hi, everybody. My name is Samantha Osborne. I'm with Strategic HR, and at least on my screen to my right is Melissa Dern. I'm going to pull up our screen here as, just give me 1 second. All right. Can everybody see attracting and retaining talent? Thank you. I appreciate the thumbs up. All righty. So yes, so we're with Strategic HR Inc. And I'll apologize in advance if my internet is a little choppy today. But again, with Strategic HR Inc., we're an outsourced HR management firm supporting organizations that maybe have a lean or no HR department. And we help them find the HR solutions and attract the talent that they need to be successful. And ultimately, our goal is to help them get the time back to do what they do best, so that they're not spending time on HR concerns or challenges when they have a lot on their plate. So today, see if it wants to go for me. There we go. Obviously, again, Samantha Osborne and Melissa Dern, we're really excited to be here. And thank you so much for letting us speak today. I know that we were really looking forward to it when we got the invite. So today's agenda, pretty straightforward: attracting talent, upskilling your talent, and retaining the talent. So that's going to cover things like the hiring process, the candidate experience, different ways to train and provide career paths for your team members and employees. And we'll talk a little bit about, in terms of retaining talent, turnover reasons, why people might leave, and ways to convince them to stay on. So first, you can attract the right talent that you need through a strong candidate experience, timely and professional communication, and a really strong employer brand. So what is candidate experience? It's a term that's thrown around a lot, but the definition in itself is the collective whole of all of the interactions that candidates have with your company, from the beginning of the process, that first LinkedIn message, that first job ad, all the way through hiring and onboarding. So it's kind of an all-comprehensive perspective. It's an all-comprehensive term. And there's a lot of different pieces that go into it. So it's very, very important to be, if anything, have your awareness heightened of what does it feel like to be a candidate going through my process. Some of the key steps in the hiring process that are going to help you to create a really strong and positive candidate experience is first just understanding the job description. It is probably, I would say, 9 times out of 10 when I'm on the phone with a candidate and they want to know a little bit about, hey, tell me what the day-to-day is. I want to know what I'm going to look like in this job. And if I don't have a sense or a grasp of the job description, I'm probably going to flounder on that question pretty quickly. And they're probably going to have a little less faith in me when I have further conversations with them. I need to know, as a recruiter, what are the deal breakers? What are the red flags, so that I'm not bringing somebody further along in the process who's ultimately not going to be a fit. I'm wasting my time, and worse, I'm wasting the candidate's time and probably leaving them frustrated. And I need to know my timeline. It is key that when you establish, all right, we're going to search for a new team member, we're super excited about it. I need to know when I want that person to be enrolled, and I need to know what the steps in the hiring process are so that I can communicate it to them when they have questions. Righty. There we go. And following up of that, being able to set expectations really does create a very professional and strong candidate experience. Be able to answer questions like when you expect to see the first candidate, so you can work backwards, saying, if I want to have candidates on Monday, I need to be sure to post the job on Wednesday. Typically, you don't have to wait that long, but it's a good buffer. You want to be able to anticipate, when are we going to be scheduling interviews and who are we going to bring into these interviews? I need to make sure that they're available, that they're not going to be late, that they're going to understand what they're doing when they walk in the room. And I need to know when I really need somebody in this role. If my team is expecting somebody January 1st and I don't complete the hiring until February 15th, I'm in trouble not only with my team, but my candidates, because they've been hoping for the job sooner. Right. There's a great tool that we use, and actually, Melissa, if I'm not wrong, this is on the Virtual HR Solution.
Yep, on the Virtual HR Support Center, we do have a very thorough candidate experience checklist.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we just pulled some of these questions from our own experiences and from this checklist. But so as you're sitting and looking at your recruitment process and you're trying to attract the talent, you want to know, okay, so how will the candidate know where they stand in the hiring process? Have I told them this? Have I given them the summary up front? You know, you're going to have a phone interview and then a face-to-face interview, and then you'll start. It's really important to allow your candidates to feel secure and confident in this process, because not only does it reflect really positively upon you and your brand, but it allows them to feel confident enough to express themselves more, to have a stronger interview, to give you a better impression as well. How can they ask questions? Have you given them a point of contact? Is there a way for them to get in touch with somebody if something goes wrong, they're late to an interview, or they need to clarify a few things because maybe their own situation has changed? How long does it take for you to get back? I understand if a message comes in at 6 p.m. on a Friday and everybody's kind of shut down for the week, but if a candidate emails you at noon on a Wednesday, how quickly can you get back to them? And what can they expect from you? And how are they informed when they're no longer being considered? I can't tell you the number of emails I get after I have dispositioned or let a candidate know that they were no longer being considered. Thank you so much for telling me. You don't believe how many times I've applied and never heard anything. Yeah, it's not great news to receive, but they would rather know than be kind of left floating without an answer. All right, hold on one second. There we go. So what's the point of all this? Sure, we want people to like us. We want candidates to want to apply to us, but candidate experience has ripples beyond our talent acquisition process. Candidates can share negative experiences with their friends or their family, as well as online. And it's crucial that we have as positive a halo around our company and our brand so that when it is time to make a quick hire or a really crucial hire, that we are attracting the best candidates. So candidates can leave their experiences on Google, on Glassdoor, on Facebook, and anybody can see them. You don't have to necessarily be logged in to see these. For example, you can have a negative candidate experience and maybe see it that a candidate has left a really frustrating comment on your Google My Business page. And that's going to send ripples. So many candidates are going to stumble upon that review and go, oh my gosh, they never got back to this person, or they were kind of maybe inconsistent with their interview process. I don't think I'm going to apply. So that reduces the amount of talent that you don't even see because they never apply. So for example, if you're looking at Google reviews, I know some folks sometimes are like, well, I didn't know you could do that, or I haven't seen that. For example, this is our Strategic HR page when you Google it, and you can see on the right-hand side our Strategic HR Google My Business. And you can see right by the 5 stars, there's 31 Google reviews. So anybody would be able to click on that, have that pop up, and see reviews from clients and candidates. And just like a client or a customer, candidates will be just as scared off by negative reviews. So it's crucial to be aware of those reviews, to respond positively and quickly when you get a negative one, and to be open to solving a solution, because if people see that you're open to having a conversation, willing to make things right because mistakes happen, again, that halo or that golden glow around your company brand only shines a little bit brighter. And actually, I'm going to pass it off to Melissa now. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about how to upskill your talent.
Well, thank you. And thank you for having us, everyone, today. So once you get the talent, and Samantha went through a lot of, just that hiring process and understanding what your needs are, your timelines, how you're going to follow up with those candidates. So once you have them on board, it's really important to retain them. So looking at upskilling that talent and creating opportunities for the talent through training opportunities, mentoring programs, and then also coaching through the process. So why is it important? So it's very important to be able to have that improving that employee morale. So if your employees are happy, they're going to do a good job. They're going to be excited to come to work. So it's really important to have, opportunities for them where they're not feeling disgruntled or they're feeling frustrated, because they're going to start looking and start wavering outside of the organization. It's going to really improve that retention. So obviously, just what I said, if they're happy, they're going to come to work, they're going to be excited, they're going to talk about positivity of the company, and improve that retention for you. It's going to really increase that customer satisfaction. So if they're happy in their job, so especially if they're doing a customer service job and they're having that one-on-one contact with your end customer, or they're working in a retail or restaurant industry and they're having that first line with their customers, it's really going to improve that satisfaction where your customers are going to return. So if they come in and there's really a disgruntled employee, unhappy, they're just grumpy, they're just saying negative things. Oh my gosh, I hate working here. This is awful. Did you hear what my manager did? The customer's going to be like, gosh, I don't know if I want to come to that business. So it's really going to increase your customer satisfaction. Again, as we said before, it's going to help you to attract new talent. Because if they're happy, they're going to want their friends and talk about how well the company treats their employees. So as upskilling strategies, there's a couple of techniques and tips here that you can do. Is ask for feedback, have that one-on-one conversation, talk to your employees, ask them why they like working there. We just did a webinar on stay interviews and finding out why employees like to stay. You can do this through offering lunch and learn opportunities. With the employees, you know, they really like to have opportunities where they can learn more skills, having opportunities such as these webinars to provide topics and different tools for them to be able to better themselves and feel like, you know, the company's giving back to them. Really looking at assessing the employee's current skills, and you can do this from the beginning if you do any kind of assessments. We have some different opportunities that we offer clients for assessments to just see what their skill level is and be able to build a performance plan for that employee. You know, they may be a little bit low in this skill, and being help as you're hiring them and they're getting started, that they can build on those current skills. And then again, you know, have that mentorship program, you know, pair them up with someone in the organization that can be that go-to. They may not always want to go to their manager. They may feel like, gosh, they don't think that I can do the job. But if they have a mentor that they can go to and ask questions, that's going to be really key and crucial, you know, to be able to help build that retention and build, you know, different skills that that person may be able to provide for them. And they're going to get a different perspective where they, you know, may not have gotten that if they had to go to their manager. Let me give you an example of what upskilling may look like. So you may be a customer service rep and looking to have aspirations to advance in the company. So the next level, you know, building on skills, building on those managerial skills, you may become the customer service manager. So as you start to work in that role, there may be other skills that you gain, that you learn, a training that you go to, and you can go into be a process improvement manager, maybe another step, maybe a little bit outside of, you know, going to that director level, but it may be, you know, you've gained those skills, you understand what the process is, what the role is, so you can move into that particular type of role. And then, you know, eventually they may go to be a senior manager of customer service. So you can see the progression of what those roles may be. And that's all coming from talking to the employee, finding out what direction they want to go, you know, what their goals are, where they want to be in 5 years. You know, we always kind of laugh at that question in the interview process, but that really tells a lot in terms of where that person sees themselves in their next role. And another example, if they're in accounts payable, it may not follow that same progression. They may move into a payroll position or accounts receivable. Could be a financial analyst or even an accounting manager. So a lot of different directions that you can move your employees into. But again, you first have to talk to them, find out, you know, what their goals are, what they want to do. They may not want to do payroll. I do a lot of hiring for HR professionals, and, you know, they've had that accounts payable and finance, but they just don't want to do payroll. So that may not be a direction that you want to target for them. And some of the tools that I want to, you know, just provide to you as a chamber member benefit provider for the Pickerington Chamber and a lot of the chambers throughout Ohio is we do offer tools within our organization at chamber member discounts. And I'm happy to talk to anyone. You can reach out and we can talk about this. Where we provide, you know, different tools, learning opportunities for those employees that you can put them on a key path for that. So this is an example of our virtual HR support center that we mentioned in the beginning, where we have different guides and tools and forms. The candidate experience, for example, was in, you'd find that here in this tool. And another tool that we have is our e-learning library of over 10,000 training topics. I've built many platforms for companies where they have an employee that they need to take through a certain progression or build skills, or just even help with a particular skill that they're kind of lacking. So I've helped build training programs, and they can buy into that, where they can have them go through that progression to build those skills. There's everything from leadership, management, sales. One that I did was anger management, just kind of building on some self, professional skills that that person needed. So as you've got the talent, you found the talent, you're keeping them, you're skilling them, you really have to retain that talent, because the cost of, just the time, the money, excuse me, it's going to be through that onboarding, active listening, and then also the custom rewards. So it's really important. As I mentioned, the turnover is super expensive. It really would cost on average $50,000 to your organization for a bad hire. And what that encompasses is the lost productivity, the time for hiring, training, and onboarding that employee, plus the time that it's taking for that other person in the organization, taking them away from their particular position to spend the time to actually train and onboard that employee. So at the end, it really affects that bottom line for your organization. And then it also has that impact on brand reputation. I don't know how many times, as you're looking and talking to candidates and you have a position that constantly turns over, you really have to dig deep to find out, why that's happening, and really find that impact of the organization. Because if it's constantly, you see a position being advertised, or you're posting that position for a customer service rep, or even like an HR manager, for example, why is that position constantly being turned over? That's going to start having a brand reputation impact for your organization. One of the keys, and I train this a lot, is it really starts with, once you get that new hire, you've invested a lot of time and a lot of money to find that candidate. And it really starts with the onboarding, even before they start. You really want to have that responsiveness, and that starts through the hiring process. You need to have that continue through the onboarding process, really being engaged and staying engaged with that candidate. You may hire them, but they may not start till February 1st. You could lose them between there, because they're still looking, even though they've signed that offer letter. I don't know how many times, I just make a point to put it on my calendar to check in, maybe once or twice a week, send a little email, make a phone call, just check in, see how they're doing. Send them swag, send them a little goodie bag, through the hiring process. We're just really excited to have them, maybe a note, an email, a card. There's so many different things you can do to help stay engaged with the candidates until they start. Then on day one, you want to have a plan. So you want to have the team introduction, again, going back to assign them to a mentor. And that's really just someone who they feel comfortable with, that's aligned with their background, maybe someone from a different department. But it might be someone in that same age group where they just really feel comfortable. But from day one, I always think they have a friend. They have someone that they can talk to. Plan a team lunch if you can, or bring lunch in. Really make them feel part of the team that first day. You never want them to have that first day where they're just sitting by themselves and they don't have anyone to go to lunch with. So it's important just to really plan their day out. So as you're onboarding, obviously you want to think about those remote employees. This may really be more true to the time now, but you want to, don't forget, having those tools for remote communication. Contact information for key people is important as well. Really setting those general expectations. It doesn't change just because they're not right there in front of you. We have so much technology at our fingertips that you can really still accomplish the same results as if they're sitting right across the table from you. And then finally, just having those key items that are easy to cover in person. but less when it's virtual. So, you know, sometimes you may have to do a video, you know, of the manager if they're not able to, you know, be right there. Just have things set up, really be planned and be prepared for them. So as you're retaining the employees, again, this goes back to what we said before, is just ask your employees. There's different methods that you can do. Really, we found a statistics, 86% of the employees are motivated by recognition, but not everybody is recognized, likes that same recognition. So if you know, like to give out a $5 Starbucks card for hitting a super hard goal, Samantha may not like Starbucks, so she may not want to get that Starbucks card. So it's really finding out what the employees like, and you can do that through an employee survey once they're hired to find out what some of their likes are so that you can do a quick reward for them. You can do it through employee surveys, focus groups, again, stay interviews, and then obviously if people are exiting your organization, doing those exit interviews to find out why they're leaving so that you can help fill that gap when you have any new hires or any new positions that you have to fill. You know, asking them what makes you happy with your job. Maybe just asking that on a one-on-one, you know, taking that time to talk to the employees so that they understand why they like their job and why they like to stay in their job. There's also different ways, you know, as we go through, you know, the different generations of, we have different age groups. So this is just an example. There's much more that can be added to this with the different radio babies, the baby boomers, the Gen Xers, and the Gen Yers. And it's all kind of changing with the Gen X and Gen Y. We now have the Gen Z in there. But these are just different ways of age groups. Your radio babies are going to be, you know, probably your retired folks now, but they were that certificate and trophy. You know, they like to have that hand in hand, you know, they did a great job. Very dependent care reimbursement accounts, you know, that you can see here, they really like to have that more hands-on. The baby boomers, they're the ones that are getting ready to go into retirement. They're more, you know, they like to have that long-term care insurance options, you know, help with the Planet Chili cook-off. The Gen Xers, they like to be more, you know, health club memberships. They're healthy. They like to have, you know, breakfast with the CEO, you know, vacation fares, you know, they like to travel, free Starbucks and coffee, kind of entitled, you know, in the office. Then the Gen Yers, more, you know, show me the money, show me the cash. They like free parking, reimbursement for yoga classes. So they like to have that instant kind of gratification type. So as you can see, you know, again, this is an example of not every person likes to be rewarded and recognized the same way. So looking at, you know, who that generation, where they fall into the generation gap, it's really important to understand how they would like to be recognized. We're also, Strategic HR is in the process. Robin Throckmorton, our president, wrote a book on generations, 10 years ago? It's been a while, and we are in the process of updating all of that information because, as I mentioned, starting to change what the names of the generations are falling into. So as a follow-up, we'll send you all a link and we'd love for you to share it out. We're trying to get at least 1,000 to 2,500 responses. Of just kind of going through, answering questions, quick 10-minute survey, just to find out, you know, what the generations are wanting and looking at right now. So we'll get you some more information on that. So as some retention ideas, you know, probably the easiest one is just to say thank you. You know, if someone does a great thing for you, or they just step up and help you out, really, you know, in the moment, say thank you. It's important not to wait a week or a few days because sometimes it loses that meaning. And really understanding and sharing the why that you're saying thank you. Let the employee know the intentions, you know, of, gosh, you know, Samantha, you stepped up and really helped me out to get that project done because without your help, I wouldn't have met my deadline. So just having them understand why you're thanking them for that. Sharing the company mission statement. You know, does your employees know, you know, what the mission statement is and really do they understand it? So making sure that they understand, you know, what the impact is on the organization. Listening and reacting to your employees, you know, just take a moment. You know, we're so busy. There's so much noise right now out there in the world. We've got to be in the moment when you're talking to your employees. So just really stop and listen. Again, in the training and development, what do the employees need? Being positive, and then really celebrating those successes and being, in the moment, and just giving a high five, just if you see something that is important or that they did a great job, just really being in the moment. Thank them. Our contact information is up here. I know we shared a lot of information, and I didn't know if we were going to do questions, or if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. There's our email and our phone number. We'd love to chat through anything or kind of talk through any situations you guys might have.
Well, thank you, ladies. You fabulous information. And when we put this event together, we obviously in the past, for those of you who have attended, we've been able to do this in one long meeting. And when Travis and Rick and I were talking about doing this, we're like, there's no way we can do all of this in one meeting, because that'll take up everybody's morning in a 3-part series. So you decided to break it up, and when we decided to break it up, we were very strategic about that, and wanted to make sure that we were covering topics that are extremely relevant to our business community and the impacts that they're seeing. And thank you for sharing this information. And obviously this is being recorded, and I'm sure the ladies would be willing to share their slides with us as well, that we will send out to everyone afterwards. This is a point where we get the opportunity to engage our sponsors and really, and the group, and learn from you all. We want to know, first of all, if anybody has questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. You can unmute yourself. We can certainly ask questions. But I want to reach out to Amy Palmer with South Central Power, who, when we look at our sponsors, we try to be strategic about who we ask to sponsor events, because we don't want to just sell a sponsorship to anyone. And yes, while that's great to support our organizations, we want it to be beneficial to that organization as well. And one of the things that I've learned through my experience at the Chamber, and I'm sure Travis has that same experience, when you talk to people from South Central Power, they talk about what a family it is and how people don't ever leave there. And, you have people who've been there for a really long time, and there's obviously a reason behind that. So Amy is with us from South Central Power, and I asked them to share a little bit about their attraction and retention, and how they do that, and why it's such a great place to be, because people want to continue to be a part of that family. And just talking with some of their team members, I've learned that their recruitment process is pretty thorough, and that they're not just looking necessarily local. They're going to bring in the best talent that they can, even from other states. So Amy, I'm going to turn it over and let you share a little bit about South Central Power. But again, if anybody has questions, pop those in the chat box, please.
Well, good. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to share a little bit, and thank you to Melissa and Samantha for a great presentation. One of the key takeaways I took today is those state interviews. I think that's a really cool concept. We do onboarding interviews at 90 days, or electronic onboarding interviews at 90 days. But I think there's a lot of things we could start to incorporate, or maybe do those in person or small focus groups. So great idea. Thank you. So as Teresa mentioned, I'm Amy Palmer. I'm the HR manager with South Central Power. I was very fortunate to come on board with South Central in 2009. I had just graduated and really didn't fully understand the opportunity in front of me. So as I began meeting my coworkers and the leaders within the organization who had been here 30, 40 plus years, I was really quickly able to realize the loyalty and passion that they all felt for South Central. And I could see the writing on the wall of the turnover we would experience when they all started to retire. So I felt it very important to protect that and keep that within our culture. And so one of, I think, the key things we have is, one of our values is teamwork and collaboration. And we practice it every day, and we work hard to practice it every day. And so I can say that as an organization, we're not here to break people down. We're here to build them up for success, and we're all committed to the success of one another. So I could pick up the phone today and ask any one of my coworkers for help, and I guarantee they'd stop what they're doing to assist, or at the very least, kind of point me in the right direction. So our hiring process becomes really important because we want to really work hard to protect that. And we want to hire folks with similar values who are aligned culturally. So our hiring process is extensive. We do take our time. We're in it to find the right person, not see how fast we can fill a role. And certainly that's not ideal. You know, when you have a vacancy, you have a vacancy. But the fact that our organization and our peers and coworkers are willing to step up and fill that gap or void until we find the right person is something we're all committed to. So without that, and without that organizational commitment, we wouldn't be able to really take our time to find the right person. So our process begins with an application review. We have a phone screen, a video interview, which is new now that we're in COVID land, and an in-person interview. So we carefully select an interview committee that will provide honest feedback, really engage that candidate, give the candidates insights into the day in a life, and really help paint the entire picture for the candidate, not just a sliver of it. We are sure to be honest about our shortcomings. We want the candidates to really understand the challenges that lie ahead, because this is as much a process for them as it is for us. And so we need folks who are committed to moving our organization forward and really understand what lies ahead for them. And so we're really trying to build that relationship for the long term. We hire for the long term, and we want, just as Sam and Melissa spoke to, that relationship and taking the time and communicating with them along the way and allowing them to understand where they are in the process as a candidate is just really important to building that relationship. And so as an organization, we're fortunate to be in a stable industry. We're fortunate to have never faced a layoff situation. We offer very competitive benefits. But most importantly, I think we are a company with a lot of opportunities for employees to contribute and develop within their roles. And so when you're hired at South Central, we work hard to understand where your focus will lie, what the bigger picture is, and really instill that sense of ownership, pride, and responsibility for the work you do. So it's important that our employees know that they do have a voice. Our CEO will come to know them personally. They're expected to speak up and offer ideas and ask questions and contribute, but we're committed to helping them feel confident in that and providing them a safe environment to do that. Everyone really has an opportunity to drive those day-to-day improvements, and it's an expectation that they contribute in that way. And so I feel that pride, that ownership, and really most importantly, that friendly work environment where you can feel safe doing all of that is what contributes to our strong retention. We do see an opportunity, and I was also interested to hear the upskilling piece of the presentation, because that is what we're currently working hard to focus more on. And we recently brought on a full-time recruiter who is not going to only be solely focused on getting people in the door, but also maintaining that relationship throughout someone's career. So we don't want employees in a position where they have to raise their hand and say, hey, I want training, or hey, I want more. We want it to become more organic. We want to, raise those flags for them, allow them to raise those flags, allow them to have a relationship with someone who can really follow them through that employment life cycle of coming on board, following a career path with an organization, but also preparing for their succession so they can feel good about how they leave things with us and have an opportunity to transfer some of that knowledge. So that's what I had to share today. I appreciate the opportunity to do so, and I'm happy to answer questions when that time comes too. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. That was fabulous. And as I'm sitting here listening, I'm constantly, thinking about ways that we can help our business community. And, you look at, South Central has an HR department and they have a recruiter now, and, some small businesses can't do that. And so that's where, organizations like Strategic HR can come in and help you be that connector, to help you with that process, to help you engage in those HR processes and make sure that you're doing things the way that you need to, and getting advice on recruiting. And there's other, seminars and webinars and all of these things that we're doing that the chambers do, that, we do to promote to our members, to encourage, especially the smaller businesses that don't have that HR department, to be able to do some of those things. So does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to unmute and ask any questions before we move on to Mr. Rick? Awesome. Quiet group. I had a quiet group this morning and on another meeting, so it must be today. That means everybody knows everything, right? You can attract and retain your talent like crazy. So what we want Rick to kind of cover for us today, and I know Melissa and Sam hit a little bit on upskilling, but what we really hope Rick will bring, is what is available locally, and talk to us a little bit about the local workforce. And I know you've got a lot of stuff that you want to share, Rick. So turn it over to you and take it away.
All right. Thanks, Teresa. Actually, none of those things I was going to talk about. So I'm going to really quick just finish my presentation. I'm Rick Sabrick. I'm the Economic and Workforce Development Director here for the county. And, our roles have changed over the years because, like right now, my 6-year-old's at quarantine. In a second, buddy. Oh, I'm sorry. He's 5. He turned 6 on Saturday. He's in his kindergarten Zoom class right now. And my wife is upstairs teaching her Zoom class. So this is the world we live in. So finding that workforce and being able to position, ourselves as a community with businesses that are looking to join our community, and with our current businesses is critical. So luckily, so many entities across the county, the chambers, all the economic development arms, the county, the 33 Alliance, have come together to really help, push workforce along with the schools. So today I want to talk a little bit about that, some of the opportunities. Going to introduce some folks here that hopefully are on, just so you get a name with a face, and some resources that we have in the county. So I'm going to share my screen here. That's the plan. All right. Right now I see Amy on my screen. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen, Amy. Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. Thank you. Okay. So first off, Central Ohio is growing. We're the fastest growing region in the Midwest. And with growth, obviously has some hurdles that we have to face. First off, we have a labor gap. So if you look at the number of jobs that are available versus the number of people available to work, right now we're still playing catch up with the number of workers. So it is becoming harder to find your skilled workers in the community. There's also a skills gap. A lot of the jobs that are available may not be the jobs that are so the skills gap is we basically have a gap with, what is needed in the jobs and what is currently, the skills are of our employees. So all right, I just tagged on to my wife. So we are fine now. And then we have an interest gap. And this one is ignored a lot, but reality is a lot of the jobs that are out there in manufacturing, in logistics, those don't match what the interests are for a lot of people. One of the weird things that happened with the pandemic is the most sought after jobs are obviously ones where, as I look around this room, are ones that a lot of people here have, where you can work remotely, where you can work in your office, and those are becoming harder to come by right now. And if you look at the job openings, majority of them are in manufacturing, they're in logistics. And, part of that is also a value gap, because if you look at younger workers, they may value flexibility. And a lot of these jobs that are available by nature can't offer that same flexibility that perhaps a lot of us are afforded in our jobs. So, we're able to, work from home some days. We're able to run an errand in the middle of the day that we may have to take. Manufacturing, logistics, those type of jobs, that's not there. And also the wages. We have seen our wages increase by about $5,000 a year in the last 5 years. So our wages are increasing, but we're still 58th in the state. Now, we were 69th just 3 years ago, so we are moving up. But when you look at that value to employees to say, okay, come work here, and they're trying to figure out their time. If they're working in the service industry, if they're working in retail, they have flexibility a lot of time with part-time shifts and part-time hours. It's, do I want to go work a 40 to 60 hour work week, even though the pay may be higher? So part of that value might be that pay even needs to get higher. So, we look at average wages and all those things. Well, really, if you're paying $14, $15 an hour and you're not attracting the employees, it may just be either the narrative you have or just what that employee may need to have to give up to come work for you. They don't see enough value in the wages that they'll get. And then, as you all know, a lot of people in our county travel and go work up into Franklin County. And I think the thing that shows that most is the gap between household income and average wage. Our average wage is 58th out of the 88 counties in Ohio. Our household income is 7th. So what that means are the jobs in Fairfield County pay 58th out of other 88 counties, but the people in Fairfield County are 7th out of 88 counties in the income they bring home, because a lot of people are going up to Franklin County to work. So that's what we're battling when we're trying to bring employees into our businesses. I mentioned that the labor force is increasing. This is Fairfield County over the years. And as you look at the civilian labor force, which is the number of people that are out there versus those that are employed, obviously earlier in the decade during the recession, the number of people in the workforce that were employed was down. But as you can see, that gap, so in 2010, there's a sizable gap of people that were still looking for work. And now as you move to 2019, that gap has gotten a lot thinner. And even now our unemployment it's dropped all the way to 4.3%, which during the pandemic is just, amazing. And a lot of those, from an industry standpoint, a lot of those unemployed right now are in retail and service. So, they may not be the individuals that a lot of businesses in our community are looking to hire, or they're not interested in the jobs that are currently out there. But the good news is our region is growing and our county is growing. We're the 5th fastest growing county in the state. And, as more people come, it positions us great for bringing new businesses here and for filling jobs. So where are people working? This is the shift, and it hasn't shifted too much, but these are jobs in Fairfield County. Healthcare and social assistance, which is predominantly healthcare, is now at almost 20% of our jobs. That's not unique to suburbs, exurban communities that see a large population growth. Healthcare, retail, those tend to drive those areas, along with food service. So retail, not surprisingly, as more has shifted online, has stayed relatively flat. Healthcare has increased. Food services has increased. There's more and more restaurants. While manufacturing has declined to 10%, manufacturing is the highest paid wages in the county on average. Their average wage is $52,000 a year. And if you look at what's happened in manufacturing jobs across the country, that percentage is still really high. So when you hear, Mike Pettit talking about all the manufacturing jobs that we're pushing, Magna Seating, which is, just opened in Lancaster. That's why those wages, those jobs are very high for our community. And then everything else is pretty much about flat. Construction saw a dip during the recession, and that's jumped back up. And actually public administration, so those individuals that are in government jobs have declined. So where do you find the workers? We heard earlier about, recruiting and finding the ideal candidates. Where can we find these workers? And I'm going to share with you some options for, for each of these. So first off, unemployed workers. Right now, we tend to be around 4,000 unemployed workers, between 3,000 and 4,000. So that's kind of the pool of labor that you can look for from unemployed workers in Fairfield County. Incumbent workers, these are people that are currently working. So our current workforce in Fairfield County is around 75,000 individuals that live in the county and have a job. So that's a large pool to look at, especially when we have, about 43,000 jobs in the county. So we have many more workers than actual jobs in the county. High school graduates, we're seeing, a large population of high school graduates that aren't going to college, and that's a great target for us to be able to grow locally into local careers. Ex-offenders, these are individuals that are re-entering the workforce after possibly serving time, and being able to find opportunities for them. And then commuters into the county, which is a surprising number when I first took this job, on how many people don't live in Fairfield County but come and work in our county. So for unemployed workers, we have job postings. So our Ohio Means Job Center. So we are working, we work very closely with our Ohio Means Job Center. And one of the things we've tried to get people to focus on is that it is basically a recruitment tool. It's a way to support all businesses in the community. And, it's not just a place where people go look for work. It's a place where businesses can find good quality employees. We have staff there, Craig Elick, who is our new employer services representative for Fairfield County. Craig works for the state. He's assigned to Fairfield County. And Craig's role is to help people find employees. And a big support is people that are able to jump in, and if you don't have an HR department, Craig can do job postings for you. We can do hiring events. Today, there's actually a hiring event for Anchor Hawking. They're trying to fill a lot of positions. They're paying $16.06, I believe, an hour, along with a signing bonus. As we've come back from the pandemic, they've just been hard to find more people to come back to work. So we do a hiring event. We promote to our county. We promote to all of our neighboring counties. We use social media, and we do everything we can to try to get people to those events. We can do a resume search in Ohio Means Jobs. So you can tell Craig, these are and I have his contact information at the end here, and we'll be sharing this presentation. But you can say, these are the skills that we're looking for, and Craig will do a resume search to try to find individuals. We'll promote your jobs. So even if you don't want to have a hiring event, we'll go ahead and promote your jobs to people that are looking for those types of jobs. And we have a really good veteran services group that will help to hire veterans, which is another sort of underserved job seeking group that they may have some barriers that we need to work through. And, I know Fairfield County does a great job, our businesses is supporting veterans. So it's somebody you can talk to Craig and say, hey, I want to find some more veterans to work for my company, and he can help you do that. So who's searching for jobs right now? These are individuals in Fairfield County in 2019, in April of 2020, that were actively searching for jobs. As you can see, almost 6,000 of those job searchers, actually more than 6,000, have either some college or just a high school diploma or less. So we have a lot of individuals in this county, that don't have degrees, that are searching for jobs. And as you see, the further you get up in the amount of education, like the bachelor's degree of 1,700, Franklin County, there's a much higher percentage of people with bachelor's degrees searching for jobs than in Fairfield County. One thing to look at as you're looking at hiring is, what does our current population look like? So based on age group, between ages 35 to 44, which is the most educated age group that we have in the county, 44% of that age group has a degree, 32% has either a bachelor's degree or higher, 12% have an associate's degree. So, what we're seeing is, especially for an ex-urban, suburban community, we have a lot of associate degrees. OUL has been our primary spot for education, and associate degrees, while they offer some bachelor's, associate degrees have kind of dominated that space, which is why we have a higher percentage of associates than other degrees in our county. But continuing to drive that education level is a key goal for our county. One of the great things in Fairfield County is that the number of seniors in our high school classes are increasing. So this is very important, because if you look around the state of Ohio, in the last 5 years, the number of high school seniors has increased by 1%. In Fairfield County, the number of high school seniors have increased by 7%. So as we look at our, not just future job candidates, but even current job candidates, the high schools are growing in our county. They're going to continue to grow. We're not seeing that across the state. This is a great place to be in. And we really urge you to think of opportunities to be able to offer internships or other pathways for high school students. And I'm going to talk about our career readiness program in a second, but one of the things that I'm really excited about is that on the right are the number of students that actually have an account in Ohio Means Jobs, that have taken that account and then shifted it over to an account as an adult, which means they're still going to be able to actively use ohiomeansjobs.com to job search. And since 2018, when we started our career readiness program, that number has increased. Last year, it was 780 high school seniors that are in ohiomeansjobs.com looking for jobs. So, as you look at different websites and things to do, Ohio Means Jobs is free. We can post your jobs there. And as you can see, there's a lot of younger adults that are using this. We have almost 50%, probably about 40-some% of our students, when they graduate, are still basically taking Ohio Means Jobs with them. So what is our career readiness program? I see, look around the room, a lot of people are partners. If you're not, we have an email that you can reach out to at the end here to join this program. The vision of the program is to find a career for every high school graduate, whether it's locally or anywhere, but our focus mainly, our mission is local. We want to provide relevant workplace skills and essential trainings that prepare students to be professionally competitive, and it connects students to local employers directly out of high school. So we have around 700 students a year that graduate high school and don't go to college. What we want to do is take those students and make sure we can tie them to local careers, economic-based jobs that are going to allow them to stay here in Fairfield County and make a living and ultimately support a family. Our career tech schools do a great job of training individuals in a specific career, but they have a certain amount of bandwidth. And at the end of the day, there's an awful lot of students that don't go career tech, that aren't going to college and have a good work history. And we want to make sure that they're introduced to local jobs here. So how does this program work? We have 2 career navigators that are funded by the local schools, along with a grant from the Ohio Mayor's Council, a grant from the Fairfield County Foundation, and the Fairfield 33 Alliance. And these two navigators, Mary Rollins and Carrie Stone, go to the schools, and right now they're working with about 180 students to help them complete a program that show that they are work ready. And at the same time, they're introducing those students to local careers by bringing partner businesses like you into the schools or remotely into the schools to talk to the students about what a local career can look like for them. And one of the great things is this program does count as one of 2 requirements toward an alternative pathway to graduation. So if a student isn't passing one of these standardized tests, this endorsement can help them graduate high school. We see a lot of students that, they work at the pizza shop, they've never missed a day of work. And when they leave high school, they're probably still going to be working at the pizza shop unless we show them a different career path. One of the great examples is we have a young man who works at our Fairfield County Utilities, has 2 certifications. He's probably 20 years old right now. He's 2 years out of high school. He was working at a grocery store bagging groceries. And his parents, quite frankly, they knew he wasn't going to go to college, and they assumed he would probably do that for a while until he figured things out. Well, Tony Vogel, our utilities director, came to a class, talked to the class. He got interested. He then went on a tour of our utilities department, got to know some of the people there, got to hear about how much they liked their job, went home and told his mom he wanted to work that job. We then held our career expo in April. And that student, he was a senior at the time in Lancaster. And I remember I was standing there, and he came in with his mom, and I asked them if there was any specific job they were looking for. And his mom said, "He keeps telling me something about water, and I have no idea what he's talking about. Can you introduce me to them?" So I took them over to our utilities department, and sure enough, that was who he was talking about. And 2 years later, he's making a great living, on his way to a great career. And his parents actually joined a meeting a few weeks ago to say how excited they were, because if it weren't for this program, they don't know where he would be. That's just one example, but those are the things that we're trying to do with this career readiness program. Another program that we have is an ex-offender reentry coalition program. This is a program with Val Carpico who handles this, and the job is to take individuals that are ex-offenders and help connect them to local businesses. Val was having some issues connecting earlier and then was called off into another meeting. Val, if you are on the call, if you could unmute and just share for a minute what you do and say hi to everybody. All right, well, I'll tell you, Val's awesome. So if she were on here, you would get a burst of energy to hear about what she can do to help your company to find this underserved group. And we have a lot of good success stories here too. And the businesses can provide criteria. Whether it's we don't want anybody with a violent history or certain types of crimes, then she will find those individuals. And a lot of these are people that just need a second chance. And if they don't get that job, a lot of times they end up back in jail. A job is a great tool to help give somebody something to focus on. I mentioned commuters. Well, we have about 57% of the jobs in our county are the workers come from outside of the county, and these are the counties that they come from, but it's mainly Franklin, Licking, Perry, Hocking. We're seeing Southeast Ohio, number of employees from Southeast Ohio continue to increase. In our county, there's 18,000 workers from Fairfield County that work in Fairfield County. So the minority of the workers in our county live in the county. And the number of people coming into the county have increased by 30% in the last 7 years. And oh, by the way, we have 50,000 commuters that commute out of the county. So what are we doing for this? We have a new website. It's going to be part of our Fairfield 33 website, but it's fairfield33jobs.com. We have 2 billboards along the bypass right now that are promoting this website and trying to drive people to come to this website to see what type of local jobs we have. And beginning of the year, we're going to be launching sort of some testimonials from people that used to work outside of the county and now work in the county, and the things that they can do to, now that they work closer to home. And those are things that, if your company has an individual like that, please reach out to us. I have contact information at the end because we'd love to feature them. But the goal is to try to get everybody in Southeast Ohio that's heading to Columbus to come work in Fairfield County. We're going to be doing we're working with Corral Communications to do a big digital marketing campaign to somebody searching for jobs and they live in Hocking County. We want this website to pop up first and for them to come here. Go out to fairfield33jobs.com, search for jobs. Right now, we don't have the actual jobs listed. We have the companies that are offering jobs. So go out there, see if your business is on here. If not, please reach out to us. And now the last thing is we've got this incumbent workforce. That incumbent workforce is by far the highest pool of individuals to work with. And we have an opportunity to upskill these individuals. I mentioned the Ohio Means Job Center earlier and Craig Elick. One of the things Craig can do is he can find a training program and probably get it paid for you. One of the programs is called on-the-job training. So if you hire somebody that was recently unemployed, we can offer to reimburse you 50% of their salary for up to 6 months if they were unemployed before you hired them. And that's just a great way to encourage you to hire individuals that are unemployed to get them back in the workforce. We have incumbent worker training, which are ways to upskill current employees. So if you want to do, you're shifting jobs, you want somebody to learn a new job, we might be able to pay for that training. We also optimize customized training. So if there's any training that you want to do, quite frankly, you can reach out to Craig and we can see if we can fund that. And a big place that we're going to be able to do this is our new workforce center. This is an investment that the county has made along with the state of Ohio. The state gave us $1.25 million to invest in this. It's a former DD Opportunity Center and 72,000 square feet of space. And it's got a large amount of office and space, conference space, and warehouse space. And it's open for business now, but with COVID, we're obviously slowly moving into that. But it's a partnership with OU and Hocking College. There also might be some courses by Eastland Fairfield that we'll be able to join in. We're offering programs in manufacturing, skilled trades, healthcare. And the goal is for these to be stackable certificates. It's to find somebody to say they graduate high school and they don't want to go to college, but maybe they want to get into healthcare. Well, you can take a phlebotomy program for just a short number of weeks, and you could then get a job as a phlebotomist. And then you can continue that lifelong learning path where you can ultimately maybe get a bachelor's in nursing. But perhaps right now, let's just get you in for 6-8 weeks of class, get a certificate, start to get a skill, and move into a job. And another program we have, and we're lucky enough to have Bryn Stepp here with the Lieutenant Governor's office, is the Tech Cred program, which is probably, I would say, still an underutilized program throughout our county. Bryn, if you'd be able to jump on and I can go through this quick presentation.
Sure. Thank you, Rick. Yes, Tech Cred is a grant opportunity for employers who want to upskill their workforce in tech-related fields toward a credential. And I'll let you know, Rick, when I want you to advance. Okay. As businesses restart operations and analyze how they want to do things after having gone through COVID, the need for a well-trained, tech-savvy workforce is really greater than ever before. Okay, you can advance, please. Oh, we lost it. Oh, there he is. So how does the business get started with Tech Cred? You can see the website at the top of the screen. First, businesses need to identify what skills they have need of in their business, and they don't have to necessarily pinpoint which employees are going to put into that training as they apply. They can do that later. They partner with a credential provider, a training provider. Then they can go onto our website and apply for Tech Cred. It's pretty easy to do. They'll get a pre-approval notice back. Then they enroll their employees into the program. When they complete the program, the credential that they earn needs to be uploaded in our system, and then they receive a reimbursement for that training. Okay, next slide. So what makes a credential eligible? There are 3 criteria for what make a credential eligible. First, must be industry recognized, meaning this credential is not specific to a certain company, but it's recognized across the sector. Must be technology focused. Technology impacts all industries, and so Tech Cred can be used in all industries, small companies, medium-sized, and large. And then it also must be short-term. And what that means is it must be less than a year or less than 900 clock hours or 30 credit hours. Okay, next slide. On our website, techcred.ohio.gov, there is a list of over 1,000 credentials that have been pre-approved. The pre-approved list is just an example of the types of credentials that fit the criteria. We purposefully launched a very slim list back when we first started this program. There were only about 150 or so credentials on the approved list because we want this program to be driven by the business community. And the way that is done is the businesses can add to our list when they apply. So when an employer goes in to apply for Tech Cred, if the credential that they need, their employees, the training program is not listed on our pre-approved list, they can suggest or request a program to be added to our list, and that is done through the approval through the application process. There's a drop down at one point in the application. They can choose a credential that's already been pre-approved, or there's an option to choose other, basically, and then they can put a justification for a credential that needs to be added or they would like to have added to the list. And that's how we've gone from 150 or so credentials to over 1,000. Okay, next slide, please. So award amounts. Employers can receive, there we go, up to $2,000 per credential. The credential, the training can cost more than $2,000, but they'll be reimbursed for $2,000 from the state, and then they can pick up the balance. Multiple credentials can be earned by one employee. That's a little different than when we first launched this program. And employers can apply for up to $30,000 for each funding round. And we have a funding round about every other month. And they can apply every time if they'd like to. And we have companies that have done that and taken the full opportunity served by this grant. The next funding round is going to start January 4th and will run through the month of January. And so our application window will be open on our website. Okay, next slide. The reimbursement process is really quite easy. Go to the website. Their employers are required to submit some. You can see there what types of things they're going to have to submit for the reimbursement, and it's pretty. The reimbursement is done pretty quickly. Employers receive their reimbursement pretty quickly, so that's always a plus for employers. Next slide. Back one more. There we go. So there's the website once again, techcred.ohio.gov. If you need help or have questions, you can reach out to the Office of Workforce Transformation. And there is my contact information as well. I'm the regional liaison for the Lieutenant Governor. I'm more than happy to work with employers, answer questions, help them through the application process. And there's my email address and my phone number. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have. I ran through this a little more quickly than I normally do. So if you have questions, please reach out. Thank you, Rick, for the opportunity to tell about this program.
Thanks, Bryn. And we'll get this down next time with the clicks. I promise. We'll get some practice in. Well,
No, you did a great job.
we, the Tech Cred program is, as I said, underutilized. And, what I would say is assume it's eligible until you're told otherwise. There's a lot of different things. The goal of the Tech Cred is to upskill employees. So whatever you're looking to do, the county used this. We reached out to all the department heads and said, are there any skills that you want to upskill your employees to do? And I think we had 10 different employees that we came up with things that we thought would be a fit. I think 5 of them ended up doing the training. So it's out there, and especially a lot of this can be done remotely now with online learning. So please use this tool. As we talk about retention of employees, ongoing training and development is very important, especially for a younger generation. Use this as an opportunity to do that. So I thank you guys for your time. I know we covered a lot here today. These are the contact informations, and these, for High Means Jobs, Craig Elick, Corey Clark. If you have hiring needs, please reach out to them. If you have training needs specific to your business, reach out to them. For the Career Readiness Program, if you're not a member, please reach out to Hannah and look at partnering with us. Go out to our jobs website, fairfield33jobs.com, and see if your business is out there. And if not, please send a note to Hannah. The Reentry Coalition, Val Carpico, who she did an email, said she was caught on, she was on another call, so wasn't able to join us. But if you have the opportunity to hire individuals that are ex-offenders, it's a great program. And if you just have other questions or anything you wanna add, please reach out to me. So any questions about any of this?
Rick, we had one quick question. Where do you suggest getting comparisons on for benefits and pay for similar industries? So if you're looking at, I'm just trying to come up, an oil change company, like a Firestone or something like that, where can you look at like industry pay benefits and things like that?
Great question. I would reach out to Craig. Another part of Craig's job is to gather that information for people. So whatever customized information you need, contact Craig Elick, and he'll be able to share that, to find that information. Now, and because a lot of that is how large of a geographic area are you looking at? If it's a job that typically pulls within 5-10 miles, you're going to want that scope to be a lot smaller. If it's a job that somebody will travel 45 minutes to, you're going to want to have a much larger geographic range when you look at those wages.
Awesome. Thank you, Rick. And I'm going to try to tie this all up into a nice little bow and ask one of our sponsors to chime in, but I'm going to tee her up quite nicely, I hope, because she's probably sitting there going, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? But we talked a lot today about, obviously employees and how we, take care of our employees. How do we attract them? How do we keep them here? How do we upskill them? And hopefully you all have learned some great programs and opportunities for your business to reach out. But at the very end of the day, the reason why you want to attract and retain a great staff and upskill them is so that your business can be raised up just another level. You can increase your pricing just another level, and then you can hopefully make more money for your business and set your business apart from others. And one of our final sponsors, Michelle Cook, the owner of Body Ache Escape Massage Center, one of the things that, again, we talk to businesses about sponsoring these events for reasons. And I know that Michelle takes extreme pride in her team and making sure that they are educated, that they get that additional education, that they go for those extra credentials, because she wants to have the best team that she can have running her business, helping her run her business, and taking care of her customers and clients. So Michelle, I want to open it up to you and share with us, a little bit about how you do this with your team and kind of the reasons behind it, because you've been this way pretty much since you started this business. So share with us a little bit about Body Ache Escape and what you do.
Okay. Well, my name is Michelle Cook, owner of Body Ache Escape Massage Center. We're between Mackenzie River and Raising Cane's in Pickerington. So I was trying to think of what to say to how we upskill. And one of my favorite things that we do is we do team trainings together. So when there's a class that presents itself in Columbus, I will sign our whole team up and we'll all go together as a group. And sometimes they're multiple days at a time. So we'll just shut down and be in class all day. So that's really enjoyable. It brings us all together and we also learn something. Another thing that we do is monthly one-on-ones. So this gives us a chance to connect with each team member and give them their goals. We review their challenges and it gives them a chance to let us know anything that's going on that might be a challenge to their work. So those are a couple things that we do to upskill. I'm sure that there's a whole other list of things I'm not thinking of, but those were the most important things I thought. One of the benefits that we provide is we also pay for other continuing education if they wanted to take that outside of the group education. And I also wanted to share that we are actually hiring for a massage therapist. So I appreciate Rick sharing that about Ohio Means Jobs. I forgot about that. And we're also in the midst of our Christmas special. So if you are looking for a Christmas present, you can get a gift certificate for a little less money than usual. I wanted to ask if anyone else is interested in sharing about how they upskill their team. Let me see if I can choose someone. Zulene, how about you?
Sure. Okay, well, I can talk about, we do some similar things with our team as well. We do provide ongoing education and development. I always am very proactive in terms of looking at opportunities. What we do when we do onboard and train folks is we have them take the Clifton Strengths 34 skills test. And what that does through Gallup is just really assess where their strengths lie. And what we do is we take that information in order to sit there and make a assessment to be able to develop the right skills. So we look at their top 5 to 10 skills or strengths. And what we do is we have discussions with our individual employees to understand what their interests are, where they want to grow, how they want to develop, what type of position that they're looking for to grow within our organization. And then we sit there and determine the best types of workshops and development courses for them. To give you an example, we did hire someone earlier this year and determined that she had fantastic communication skills. She has a degree in that area. She wasn't able to exercise a lot of her creativity that she did have. So we just signed her up for a ton of different development courses and also challenged her to do something that was completely different. We have a new product that we're offering, and we just let her go ahead and spearhead that and take it over. She's really blossomed and was able to spread her wings and show her creativity in that. We also have partnered with different organizations, Citywide being one of them, in terms of taking up their offering. So what they do is they provide, and this is through the city of Columbus with Franklin County. So what they do is they have a grant program that they're funded by that they can allow free classes for businesses that have less than 50 employees that work within Franklin County. And they not only do things like what we're experiencing with the Pickerington Chamber with the D&I training, but they also offer many other courses. So they offer things within conversational Spanish. They also help with Microsoft applications. So if someone may need help in terms of Excel or building their skills in Word, they can help with that. They also help in terms of writing skills and communication. So they have a variety of different workshops available that can help the individual employee. So hopefully that gives you a little insight into some of the things that we have provided.
Thank you for sharing, Zulene. Back to you, Teresa.
Well, thank you, Zulene, for sharing, and thank you, Michelle. I'm sure they might have coordinated a little tag team on that. Of course, we might prompt them sometimes, but I just want to say thank you. I know we're wrapping up. If anybody has any questions and you want to unmute, I know so much information was shared today, but you know, one of the things that I hope that we all take away is that there is so much opportunity right here locally within Fairfield County, within our region, and ways to help our businesses remain successful, attract those great employees, find the right fit for your business, onboard them, get them upskilled, give them opportunities to continue their education and learn, which really at the end of the day helps your business, because the better your team is, you can look at those rates that you charge for the services that you offer, and being able to increase those wages as well. So, which is one of our goals with the 33 Alliance, is seeing our wages increase in Fairfield County. We want people to live here and work here and not have to commute. Rick shared those numbers, and we want to keep those people in our county and contributing here, and not having to drive, 45 minutes plus away to go to work. So I'm going to turn it back over to Travis and or Rick if you guys want to wrap us up. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you guys for being a part of today, and hopefully you'll join us again next week. Travis, take it away.
Thanks, Teresa. I know we want to be conscious of your time here, so I'll just wrap up by saying, again, thank you to our sponsors. Thanks, Stacy from Retrieve. Again, our Progress sponsors, Acclaché and Promotions by Design. And of course, thank you for sharing both of our sponsors from Body Ache and South Central Power. We appreciate the insight you provided on your company. Thanks for joining us today, Rick.
Go forth. Have a wonderful day. See a lot of you back here next Wednesday at our session where we're going to be talking about COVID and its impact and what businesses can do.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of the week.